Things have been heating up in Sabi Sand over the past few weeks. There's been a lot of chaos, with lions moving around constantly and conflicts breaking out across the reserve. Some new lions have arrived, while others have sadly died. The Kambula males, a strong coalition of 4 lions, have spent the last couple of years moving around Sabi Sand, trying to find a place to settle and build their confidence. During that time, they came face to face with many other coalitions and often ended up on the losing side. But recently, things started looking better for them. They were finally gaining strength and preparing to take over a pride. However, the arrival of the Ndhzenga males in the north put more pressure on them. Although the Ndhzengas are slightly older, around 9 to 10 years, and not younger than the Kambulas, who are in their prime at about 7 years old, their arrival still forced the Kambulas to shift their movement. This change in activity also affected the older Mantimahle duo, who are close in age to the Ndhzengas. While the Mantimahles had previously given the Kambulas a few beatings, they seemed to realize their age was catching up with them. Rather than risk a serious fight with younger and more determined rivals, they wisely moved their territory further away. The Kambulas then started showing interest in the Mbali pride and were believed to be involved in the death of one of the pride's lionesses. At this point, it looked like the Kambulas were finally on the rise. The attention of lionesses often boosts a male coalition's confidence, and the future seemed bright for them. But sadly, tragedy hit. Kruger National Park is currently facing its worst anthrax outbreak ever, and many well-known lions have been dying from the disease. One of the Kambula brothers began to show signs of illness. His face looked swollen, a known symptom of anthrax. Just a few days later, he was found dead, leaving only 3 brothers behind. Unfortunately, the bad news didn't stop there. Latest reports say that at least one of the remaining 3 Kambulas also seems to have something wrong with his mouth. Since anthrax can affect the face and mouth, it's feared that he might also be infected. All we can do now is hope and pray that this lion survives, whether with human help or on his own. The lack of a dominant coalition in northern Sabi Sand recently caught the attention of several coalitions. The Ndhzenga males moved into the north and claimed the area along with the Nkuhuma pride, a claim they fought hard to keep. They've had a few fights with the Gijima males and run-ins with both the Kambula and Plains Camp males, but they've stayed strong and managed to hold their ground. Even though the Ndhzengas are now fully in control of the northern territory, they recently paid a short visit to their old territory. However, they didn't stay long as the Gijima males chased them away. The Gijimas are now making big moves of their own and not letting any rivals settle in easily. Despite this, the Ndhzenga duo is still looking strong and steady. In just a few months, they'll complete 6 years as a dominant coalition in the Sabi Sand, a major achievement in the life of any wild lion coalition. The Gijima males have been very active over the past few weeks. Their presence in central Sabi Sand started when the Ndhzenga males moved north, leaving that area behind. With the space open, the Gijima pair moved in and started making their mark. They've had several confrontations, not only with the Ndhzenga males, but also with the Plains Camp males and the Nkuhuma and Talamati pair. Each time, the Gijimas proved themselves as the top coalition in central Sabi Sand. They've shown strength and dominance, just as they did over the past few years when they held their ground against the larger Nkhulu coalition, even though the Nkhulus had numbers on their side. A few weeks ago, one of the Gijima males was seen with a swollen face, which led to concerns that he might have contracted anthrax. He was sedated and examined by the Londolozi wildlife team. Thankfully, no signs of anthrax were found, and he's since made a full recovery. However, while they've been strong and healthy, the Gijima males have become a nightmare for the local prides. Since taking over central Sabi Sand, they've targeted both the Nsevu and Kambula prides. Sadly, the Kambula pride has already felt the impact. One of their subadult males was caught and killed by the Gijimas after being badly mauled. There are also rumors that another subadult suffered the same fate, though some reports suggest these are only rumors. For now, the danger to the young lions isn't over. This process is still ongoing, and since the Ndhzenga males, the fathers of these subadults, are not expected to return to defend them, their future looks uncertain. All we can do is hope these youngsters manage to stay away from danger, especially as the Gijima pair is expected to apply even more pressure in the coming months. After the Ndhzenga brothers left central Sabi Sand, it looked like the Nkuhuma male and his partner, the Talamati male, were finally going to claim the area for themselves. For a while, it seemed like this nomadic pair was close to securing their first proper territory. But as fate would have it, the bigger and more confident Gijima males also saw the opportunity and came in strong. They quickly pushed out the Nkuhuma and Talamati males, forcing them back into their wandering lifestyle. Since then, the pair has been spending most of their time in the western parts of the reserve. Lately, they've been seen around the Mangeni pride and have spent some time with them. Both the Nkuhuma and Talamati males are in their prime years, and there's still hope that they'll eventually find a place to call their own. The Mangeni pride, which the nomadic pair is now spending time with, is actually under the control of the dominant plains camp males. These males rule the entire western Sabi Sand and have a massive territory. Because of this large area and the need to regularly patrol it, including visits to their other prides like the Ottawa and Chimungwe, the Plains Camp brothers often aren't around the Mangenis. That's why the Nkuhuma and Talamati males are able to spend time with the pride without much interference. The Plains Camp males also recently made several back-to-back visits to the northern areas of the reserve. However, their attempts to expand territory were stopped by the constant presence of the determined Ndhzenga males. Since the Plains Camp Coalition didn't urgently need more territory, they didn't see the point in risking a physical fight. So they turned back and returned to their home territory in the west, where they've remained ever since. The Nkhulu coalition, made up of 5 brothers, has spent the past few months living in relative peace. They've kept their distance from all the recent drama happening in the central parts of the reserve. Other than a brief visit to an area the Gijima males left behind, the Nkhulus have stayed within their main territory, where they continue to live alongside the Sand River Pride. That same southern area, once controlled by the Gijimas, now seems to be drawing the attention of a new group of lions, the Nwazwishaka Coalition. This young coalition of 4 males has recently started exploring the region. They've been seen moving through the area and even hunting buffalo, showing signs that they're becoming more confident. If everything goes smoothly and the Gijimas don't return to reclaim the territory, the Nwazwishaka males may soon take over the region and establish themselves as the new dominant coalition. Let's hope things continue to go well for them as they begin this important phase of their journey.